Whoa, okay. Yeah. Alright. How many of you have been bowling before and enjoyed it? Okay, so a lot of you. How many of you know how to put a curve on the ball? Kind of. Alright. Well, in bowling terms, we don't call it a curve. We call it rotations or revolutions around the bowling ball's axis. Hi, my name is Jazzmyn N, and today I'm going to be talking to you about basic equipment, approaching, practice what we do here on the bowling team, and a tournament. And this is us. Equipment. So you need bowling shoes, a wrist guard, which I have over here, a rosin, and a bowling ball, obviously. This is my wrist guard. It's not a complete wrist guard, it just goes on your wrist. And you also need comfortable clothing. Something like a t-shirt like this and maybe basketball shorts or even spandex. A rosin bag, like I have here, is to keep your hands dry. So most people, their hands will sweat. So this is just like a powder ball. A wrist guard is to support your wrist. Instead of coming back and going like this, you want to be more like this. Bowling shoes are a good investment if you want to buy them on your own, because bowling shoes at the house are a little slippery. So these are my bowling shoes. Also, a microfiber towel is very important. Microfiber will soak up the oil on the bowling ball quicker, so that way you don't have to keep renewing that surface. A master's degree in physics is very important to understand what goes on behind bowling. And that is from a journal on Top of the Sports icon. Approaching. Your stance is very important, that it is very comfortable. You need to have 4 or 5 steps. I personally take 4. A relaxed arm swing and release and follow through all work together. So to demonstrate, your arm swing must be like a pendulum. So instead of it being very forced when you come down, you want it to be more relaxed, and when you follow through, you want it to release as thumb and then fingers in order to release that rotation and get the curve on the ball. Also, through your follow through, if you do not follow through all the way and pat yourself on the back almost, it will almost tug the ball. So instead of going straight down the lane, it will go left. Or if you're lefty, go right. From bowlingtournaments.com, a flush strike through the pocket will only hit 4 pins. And I'll explain that on the next slide. Alright, bowling balls and their cores. So a lot of you, how many of you knew that bowling balls have a core inside of them? Nobody, wow, okay. So the adrenaline shot, which I have with me today, is more of a symmetric, because no matter which way you cut it, it will all look exactly the same. My urge, that's asymmetric. That will not be similar on every side. The asymmetric ball will pick up more in the beginning, and will be tighter and more hockey stick-like motion in the end. A symmetric ball will be more smooth on the back end, so more of a rounding motion instead of a hockey stick-like. The shoes are righty or lefty. Okay, so these shoes are righty because the right shoe is a tennis shoe. The left shoe is a slide shoe. So that way, when you go through your release again, like I said, I'm a righty, so I'll be sliding through my power step like this, and I want this foot to be slide, so I slide all the way to the foul line. And then for a lefty, it's opposite. Each pin is numbered. How many of you guys knew that? You guys knew? Okay. So those are the numbering, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we'll always call out pins or whatever. So if I'm talking about a pin, that's what I'm. All right. In a book that I found called bowling steps to success, they found that each pin has its own number. In practice, so every sport does their own warm-ups and jumping jacks, maybe do a little bit of running before. We don't personally have to run, but we do jumping jack squats. A lot of stretching goes involved into this because if you do not stretch, you will be hurt the next day if you bowl the way we bowl. Bowling warm-up, we normally do something called the cradle. We normally will just throw our spare ball, this is my spare ball. We'll normally just throw a 10 pin, normally just throw a 7 pin just to warm ourselves up, get ourselves used to each and every pin up there. Spare challenges. So our coach will go back into the lanes and she'll take out all the pins and she'll set down spares herself. So that way we have to go and do that. We'll do so many practices of just pins, just spares. Because spares are very important. Spares win championships, strikes don't. Strikes only win games. Worksheets. We have these worksheets that are called dot worksheets. So every time if we're playing a game, we have to fill in which pins we leave and if we get it or not. Drills, she'll make us do a drill that's like, you have to have 8 clean spares in a row, 8 clean frames, I mean. So if we don't get 8 clean in a row, we'll have to do a plank. We'll have to do push-ups, we'll have to do bear crawls across the approach, we'll have to do something as our punishment for not getting 8 clean frames in a row. Games and bakers. So games are, if you put 5 players in, if you were to go bowling yourself, that's what a game is, like a team game. A baker is when you just put one name in, but 5 different people play that game. So the first person will bowl frame 1, second person 2, third person 3. But when you go back to frame 5, the first person will bowl frame 5. So you do that. So it's almost like a team average kind of. Tournaments. So we travel to Indiana, Texas, Arkansas. We travel a lot. Like this weekend we're going to Indiana. The day before, we normally go to the lanes that we're going to be practicing or bowling at the next day, and we practice there with the pattern that's going to be on that tournament day. There is more than just one team at a tournament. A lot of people don't know that. They think that we're just going to bowl against one team. This past weekend that we just had, the tournament we just had, there were 29 teams there. And you play almost each and every one of them. The rules, you can get red carded and you can get yellow carded in bowling. Like for example, if we show our compression shorts underneath our skirts, we can get disqualified. If we are too loud, if we are loud while somebody is going up to bowl, if we don't use bowling etiquette, we will get red carded. A lot of people don't know that either. Day 1 is more of a five baker matches. So against each team that we play, we'll play 5 bakers against them. And I explained what bakers was. Day 2 will be 5 team games. So the 5 people in per person that we play. So those are 5 team games. That's the longest day. Day 3 is the best 4-7 match, baker match. So it's like elimination round kind of. The Bowler's Journal International, which is a magazine, released a film on PBA bowler P. Weber, and it will be released pretty soon, in a few months here. And I bring that up because we are filmed on live stream. So if people want to watch LIU Brooklyn versus us, you can go up on YouTube and watch us. Through this presentation, I have informed you on the basic equipment that you would need to bowl, an instructed run-through of what a proper approach looks like, describe a typical day in practice, and what it's like when we are in a tournament. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and maybe the next time you go bowling, you will use some of these skills that I've instructed you with today.